It's funny, but it's not funny at all at the same time. I wouldn't consider myself a wereboo, but gotta love the no-skill players, man. I don't know if that T-3045 was really good or really bad. I really can't tell. I am very, very blind. Oh, cool. Hello there, I'm ChickenFarmr. Welcome to my channel. Today's video will be about the Tiger 2P. Now, the Tiger 2P, I don't have the most games in, nor do I have all of the modifications for, but I have recently started playing it a few times and had a really good time doing it. And since I'm done making videos on all of the new tanks that were added recently, I wanted to make a video on the Tiger 2 just because it seems to be fun and just is an interesting tank to myself. Now, the Tiger 2P is an absolute beast, don't get me wrong. It may not be the most reliable when it comes to armor, but it is still a hulking menace. The upper hull of this thing is very strong, and having an upgraded 88mm, this tank has the whole package. Now, getting straight into my checklist, let's start with armor. The turret is very weak and prone to even much lower tiered opponents. Now, one thing you can do to combat it is slightly turn your turret, although it's not going to make your armor perfect by any means. It'll just make it a little more effective than just facing down your opponent with your turret, as just overall the turret is just the downfall of the Tiger 2P. Now, a big reason why I prefer the P version over the H version is its battle rating, and the reason why I say that is the chances of running into Cold War era shells, mainly HEATFS and ATGMs, are a lot lower at the 6.3 battle rating compared to the 6.7, as a lot of 7.7 vehicles have those really strong Cold War ammunition types. Now, that's not to say at 6.3 you will never see them, because you will definitely see plenty of vehicles that have ammo that can just go straight through you without a problem, but I just feel much safer at 6.3 personally. But overall, the armor of the Tiger 2P is usable at distance. Obviously, this thing is more built for sniping than it is close quarters, so most of the time your armor will be able to hold up. It just generally is pretty tanky. Now, survivability is also pretty good. You have 5 crew members, which is obviously not the best in the world, but it is pretty good for this vehicle, especially with having such thick armor. You will be able to eat many shells in this tank. One thing to note is if you take any more than 23 shells, you will have ammo in the sides of the tank, which if you do have the ammo there, it is extremely likely to get hit. You will still have the massive ammo rack in the back of the turret, which is the bane of the Tiger 2's both versions' existence. But overall, the survivability is pretty good on the Tiger 2P. Now, when it comes to mobility, that's where this tank really falls apart. Along with its turret armor, its mobility is not the greatest. It does have a really good top speed. It just has a terrible power to weight ratio, as this is a very chonky boy. If you can get yourself up to your top speed, you're going to be keeping up with many medium tanks even. It has very lackluster traverse speeds, but just generally this thing is very immaneuverable. Now, the firepower of this vehicle is amazing. This upgraded 88 is just so much fun. I absolutely love the German 88s. They are so much fun, and this one is no different. Obviously, like many German tanks, its first shell is its best shell. Now, it does have really lackluster heat shells. Basically never run them. They are really just not worth your time. It does also have access to APCR, which I have not yet unlocked on mine. But if you do have it unlocked, definitely bring a few just in case you run into a vehicle that has too much armor for the standard ammo. But this standard ammo is absolutely wonderful. This standard ammo has amazing shell velocity and really decent penetration. It doesn't have all that much explosive filler, but it will definitely get the job done. Something to note, due to its high muzzle velocity, it doesn't lose that much penetration over long distances. Especially in comparison to many other countries' cannons at this battle rating, they lose a lot more penetration over distance, unlike the Tiger 2's 88. Now, when it comes to difficulty, I would say it's about a medium for me, just because the turret can be pretty weak, especially in the hands of an inexperienced player that may get themselves caught out in a bad position and not know to angle their turret. That may cause them to get knocked out even by a much lower battle rating tank. But I will have to give it the fact that it is a pretty survivable tank and has a wonderful gun, and I think is a semi-forgivable vehicle. Now, fun value, I would say it's also medium. It's nothing crazy, it's nothing groundbreaking. The gameplay isn't insane in any way, shape, or form. It's just satisfying, at least for me. For heavy tank enjoyers, this vehicle can be very, very satisfying. And that's what made me want to make this video. It's just this vehicle is so satisfying to me to play. Now, I think that's this thing summed up pretty well. Before we get into the gameplay, please take a second and smash that like button for me. It would be greatly appreciated, and also consider subscribing. I post videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. All right, let's get into that gameplay. Something I'm just now realizing is the fact that I don't have any backups for this thing. I will definitely be putting those on after this match. I don't know how many of my videos y'all watch, but I tend to forget the first match that I play to put on backups, so it's funny, but it's not funny at all at the same time. Now, obviously, since I don't have the mobility upgrades yet, I am very, very sluggish, whereas if I did have the mobility upgrades, I would be very easily keeping up with many of my teammates. I wouldn't consider myself a wereaboo, but I do really like German vehicles a lot. Just, I don't know, German tank design I feel like is very interesting, at least to me. I know many people don't really care for them, but I just like just the way this looks. I love the way that they design their tanks. It's just nice. I'm not exactly sure why I'm seeing that a Churchill 3. That version of the Churchill is a pretty low battle rating in comparison to this thing, right? Isn't that like a 4.3? Can't see anything. Holy shit. Oh, there's the tank I literally just recorded like an hour ago. Or I recorded the video for an hour ago. Well, I did miss a little bit. I should have aimed a bit more left so that I hit a flatter angle, because I hit an angle that was far from flat. I can't make anything out, and I'm not even going to try. No, that was him. I saw his cupola for a second. I was like, huh? Is that him or is that not? Our Tiger E just got shot in the side, it seems. Oh. I was hoping that he wouldn't push up. I was thinking that I could shoot through that. This gun does have a really, really good rate of fire. I love this thing. This is where it's really dangerous to push up. Where did he just pulled a Houdini? Why is he not capping the point? What are you doing, dude? I don't know if that T-3045 was really good or really bad. I really can't tell. Was he behind a bush? Wow. So there's one of the big downsides to having an angled turret. I was thinking to myself, like, oh, I forgot to mention the fact that it can shot trap really easily. Thanks to that assault Sherman, I was able to show that the angling of the turret can sometimes be good and sometimes be bad. And that was definitely a bad moment. Okay, so this guy's trying to get an angle on my teammate. I'm going to miss entirely. At least I got his attention off my teammate, but... Okay, this time I'm going to properly aim There we go. That kind of felt like delayed by half a second almost. Yeah, I need to let my gun settle on this thing. Like, the gun is somewhat stable, it just, I don't know. If not cared for correctly, gun will bounce all over the place. Well, I saw that they had a really high fire rate, high explosive firing tank somewhere, but I didn't realize he was there, of all places. I'm curious to know how many of you guys are into modding games, because I don't know if y'all have ever heard of the game called Teardown. It's like a destruction simulator. That game I've been following ever since there was anything on the internet about it, and I'm happy to see it, like, where it is now. But that game is, like, really just really, really moddable, and people make, like, tank mods in that game. And most of them are really, really good. It's just, I'm too lazy to figure out how to mod, and there's not a ton of tanks out there. I mean, there's a good few. It's just, there's so many I would love to see in that game, like British tanks and stuff like that. Like, I want to see more tanks in that game, but I don't know how to mod all that well. So, I didn't know if y'all have heard or are just into modding, period. If you are, take a glance at that game. Okay, what? I saw the muzzle flash. I didn't see him. I am blind. I am very, very blind. It does have a really decent reverse gear of 11. That is something that's very nice. Definitely something to point out. Couldn't get the gun depression down. Okay, just go ahead and, yep. Thank you for not penning me. Should be able to go straight through you. Yep. Straight through the driver's hatch. You, on the other hand, are going to be a bit of a pain. Of course. Gotta love the no-skill players, man. I'm curious as to how he exactly penetrated my armor here. I guess I didn't angle it enough. See, there's that just weak turret. Smart players are going to be able to easily deal with anyone in a Tiger P, because you can't change how thin that armor really is. Like, you can try and angle it, but it's really not going to do that much. It's not going to do enough to stop a IS-2 shell. That's just not happening. Oh man, I love cutting through Sherman jumbos with this thing. This 88mm is just so satisfying. Oh, cool. That was the luckiest pilot snipe of my life. Followed up by the worst shot of my life. Dude, I can't get up this hill. Go! Hope I don't get sniped while I'm trying to hit this guy. How? How did you survive that? I'm dumbfounded. Honestly, he deserves to live. Right in the ammo. Perfect shot. I don't even know how we ended on top of the team. I don't know. I was just playing the game, man. I was playing pretty stupid, if I'm being honest. Alright, so that's the Tiger 2P. Overall, it is a very fun tank. It's just satisfying. It's not the most fun in the world, but it's just, I don't know, enjoyable to play. I think it's pretty balanced out by the fact that it has such a thin turret, and has such a good gun. Honestly, I don't think this is going to be a bad tank for people to grind through. Like, if you haven't gotten to this thing yet, it may not be the best tier for tier in the German tech tree, but yeah, I think that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please, if you haven't already, on your way out, like the video, and if you haven't already and you've gotten this far, consider subscribing. Any help is greatly appreciated in comments and such, and if you're interested, I also have a Discord that some people are starting to join. We're starting to fill it up a little bit. Come say hi, and yeah, I think that's about it, so have a chill day.